Hey guys, welcome back to Moon and Taurus, and I want to share a book with you. It's called Wicca. So, it's called The Essential Book of Wicca Powerful Practices from the Magical Craft by Marie Bruce. So, you can check this book out for yourself. I will take note that there was an error written in this book. It says that the pentacle is attuned to the earth element. It's actually attuned to all five elements. So you have air, earth, fire, water, and spirit. Those are the five elements that the pentacle would be attuned to. So she did write an error in this book. She said that it's attuned only to earth. Well, she didn't say only to earth. She just said it was attuned to the earth element, but it's attuned to all five elements because each point on the pentacle represents one of the elements, and the whole thing represents five elements. If I go on my phone to verify that, because that's what I study in Wicca Academy, that's an academy that I'm in to actually study Wicca. It tells me that it's attuned to five elements. It represents five elements. So that's one of the errors in this book. So when you read this book, be mindful of what you read in this book. Don't take everything as 100% true in this book. That's the only thing in this book that's not true. It's partially true, but it's not 100% true. That's the only thing in this book that's not 100% true. So when you read this book, just be mindful of that. Also, one thing that I really, really, really liked about this book was when it said, if you have debt that you can't pay, try to get with a debt charity. So they're basically saying that magic may not help you there. So it might be too great. So they're being logical. So some logic went into this book. So if you're a beginner and you want to get into Wicca, I would recommend this book. This is probably, one of the easiest thing to read. There's no difficult language in this book. I think a lot of these books that I would read, there's no difficult language to them, but I have other witchcraft books that I would read. But one thing I want to take note is that I'm not getting into, the practice of Wicca, at least not right now. I'm just going to focus on regular witchcraft because there's no need to worship a deity. Wicca has deities in it. You have the goddess and you have the horn god. You have the triple goddess and you have the horn god. So there's no need to, for me to be religious about the craft, um, and stuff like that. It was a nice read. I like Marie Bruce's writing, I like the way she put the book together. But like I said, there was one error in that book as I was reading it because I studied it somewhere else, and I wanted to read that book to see if it pales well in comparison with what I've studied. Gives you a nice overview of what it's about. There was an error in there, so my suggestion is read as many books as you can on the topic. There's a site called wiccaacademy.com. It's cheap to get in, so you could take courses and you could get certificates for it. And it's actually fun. I've completed one course so far, and I started on September 12th. Today is September 17th. And I completed the course on September 13th, that one course. There's a total of 8 courses, and there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information. There's more to that course, those courses, than what's in this book. So this book doesn't have as much information as what's in those courses because I've looked at an overview of those courses. There's a lot more information in those courses than what's in this book. And sorry about that. My nose itches really, really bad. I got bad allergies. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you. Is that I'm getting into witchcraft and astrology is a part of it. Astrology plays a role in it. Also, tarot cards play a role in it. So I've practiced tarot cards on somebody, and like 8 of the cards he agreed with, one of the cards he didn't agree with. So that means we're doing a pretty good job with that. And that was my first time dealing with tarot cards. But yeah, I apologize for rubbing my nose. That thing is so bad. I have bad allergies right now, and that's the only thing that itches. And it's about to be fall, but hay fever is kicking in like crazy. I apologize for snorting in the camera. I probably should redo this video. But yeah, that wasn't classy, was it? I'm sorry. I am sorry. Poor manners. But anyway, the Wicca book, it's a good book, but there was one error that I found in there. She said something very wise to, about regarding the debt situation. You have a debt that you can't pay, it's best to get with a debt charity rather than trying to use magic to wish it away. So, because it takes work outside of magic, you got to actually, you know, use the magic alongside your practical approach. And your practical approach would be you actually actively working on it the way you would even without magic. So, yeah, that was a very logical thing she said. So, in the book. So she wasn't trying to push the notion that magic works all the time. She basically saying there's a time when you might want to do something other than use magic. Those are the type of people that deserve to write these kind of books. And I'm a new person to I'm new to witchcraft, so I got into it on September 12th of 2022, and it's September 17th of 2022. So when you see stuff like this, you can take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, practice it to see if it works for you. Like I said, I'm doing regular witchcraft. I'm not going to get into Wicca because Wicca is a religion, and I'm not trying to be religious about anything. That's just not me. So, yeah, I have other witchcraft books that I'm going to read. And as I read each one, I'm going to tell you about that particular one in another video. So, stay tuned for more witchcraft books. Um, this book talks about the holidays. There's witchcraft holidays. I mean Wicca holidays, and it's only in Wicca. You have Ostara, Mabon, Sal, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Samhain, but Samhain is pronounced Sal actually. It's spelled Samhain, but they say it's pronounced Sal. Um, that's to name a few of the holidays. There's 8 of them. So, um, these allergies are killing me, dude. That's 8 of them. It talks about the different elements in Wicca. There's 5 elements: earth, air, water, fire, and spirit. Spirit is considered an element in Wicca, in witchcraft, period, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it talks about the triple goddess, the horn god. It talks about moon magic. It talks about what else does it talk about? It talks about money spells. It talks about protection spells. That's just to name a few things. If you're into Wicca, if you want to get into it, I would recommend this book. But like I said, be mindful that it mentions the pinnacle being attuned to Earth when it's actually attuned to 5 elements, because the pinnacle is a 5-pointed star that's inside of a circle. Okay, a pentacle is a circle that contains a pentagram in the center of the circle. So that's what the pentacle is. And the pentacle consists in the pentagram, or the pinnacle consists of 5 points, and each point is an element. So there's 5 elements. So if it's attuned to 5 elements, not just Earth. Yes, it's attuned to Earth, but it's attuned to all the other elements as well. So pay it, do pay, pay good attention to detail when you're reading these things. Take notes if you have to. Just peruse through it again if you have to. This was a good read, but there was one error in the book, so I caught it, and that's that. So yeah, it was a good read. I would say beyond that, it was a decent book. But when I read other books, there'll be books that are far superior to this one. Um, especially based off of what other witches have said about books, like of Blood and Bones, right? That's one that I'm going to be reading next, and then I'll be reviewing that next. So, you guys have a good day. All right? Thank you.